All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging around. Small technical, small technical thing, but here we go. We've got it all sorted now. Norbert's back. It's on the iPhone. So, if anyone's got any pointers for me on how to do it on these on the, what do you call it, on these things, just you let me know. All right, just going to sort this out again. All right, just give me a minute. I'm getting a lot of technical stuff going on here. Send invitations. If that one works, and if not, so yeah, tonight, WT Norbert, he works at Tattoo Rosies. He has been, hey everyone, here we go, mate. Welcome. All right. I'm glad I dressed up.
Tony Clash is in the house. Party time, guys.
Mate, turn it up. Here we go.
That's the newest Tony Clash.
Amazing, amazing. And anyone that wants to know, Tony Clash is Norbert's alter ego. Psychedelic. Oh, here we go. We got the guitar and everything. No. Nice. So Norbert's got a pretty cool musical career, everyone. Mate,
Here I am.
Mate, you are here. You are here, mate, and you're in full force.
always entertaining myself.
Yeah, yeah. Mate, that's what you got to do, dude. So obviously by the look of you, you've not really been struggling this lockdown.
No, not really, no. Pretend I'm going to the party, you know.
Awesome, mate, awesome. That's good to hear, mate. What are you drinking?
That's my drink of choice for the last 1.5 years.
Wow, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So what's Carlton Zero mean? Does that mean zero hangover?
Yeah, that's the main thing, yeah.
Amazing, mate, amazing. All right. So tonight's going to go pretty fast, so we'll sort of jump into it. So
yeah.
Can you give us a little bit of your background, please? Are you originally from Poland?
Yes, I'm originally from Poland, sort of central Poland, near Warsaw, working class town, shithole pretty much. Then when I finished my high school, I moved to like a nice big historical town called Gdańsk or Danzig. That's where the Second World War started.
Yeah.
A little like reminds in some bits like in Amsterdam and stuff, a lot of bridges, rivers and stuff like that. Very beautiful.
Cool.
And like art school there for 5 years, which took me actually 8 years to get my master's because I started my art career and I didn't give a much damn about the title, MA. I was just like into arts already, so I was like, whatever. My parents pushed me like, you have to have this paper. And I was like, okay, I do the paper. I did the paper.
Yep. Well, mate, lucky you got it. You've obviously used it throughout life.
Yeah. I mean, paper doesn't do much. The years I spent it, definitely. Yeah.
I think you can see in your work, like you've definitely benefited from, from people of your generation that started tattooing that have no art school background. Like it's definitely helped for you. So when you were at, studying art in that Amsterdam area, what was there a tattoo shop there? What was the tattoo scene in Poland at that time?
No, there was none because we had the communism in Poland. So pretty much we're like a iron border. We're isolated. So like we don't have any like foreign press or anything. Some bits and pieces on TV, but from like, American movies and stuff like that, but not that much.
Yeah. So I know.
I had no idea about tattooing as it is. That there are tattoo shops, there are tattoo magazines, conventions. Like, never crossed my mind. I had no idea about such a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy.
I think it's a thing that is done in prison and to mark specific things and inform people about things, and that's it.
Yeah, so, nothing as far as like real art went or anything like that.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. So no one never heard of it. Knew that there are tattoo machines or something like that, you know, apart from like you can do the string in a prison, as I said before.
Yeah. Okay, so, cool. How did it go? Because I know the story, like your brother got a tattoo. Can you tell us like what happened from that moment when you saw that?
Oh, the thing was like, because they opened borders in 1990, and that's the year I started my art school. And my brother like is a bit older than me, and he went for his uni holiday. He went to Sweden, just do like some small jobs, like repairing, going from village to village, helping people for like a little money, which in Poland was a big money.
Yeah, yep.
And once he just bumped into a guy who was tattooing there already for like 10 years or something.
Wow. His
name was him, and I was trying to like navigate him, like find him now, but like it's no trace. I completely lost the track.
Yeah.
But and yeah, he brought me like a tattoo magazine or something. He told me they met the guy who makes tattoos, and
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, like I look at that and I was like, fuck, that's something I really want, like, get my hands on. You know? So yeah, I was like, I already set up, like next year I'm going with you. I talked to my brother, and like I want to meet this guy and see what's all about, you know. And that's how it started.
What was the tattoo that your brother got? What was the design?
No, I didn't get any tattoo. No, there was like for us.
Oh,
like,
right.
For us in Poland, then getting tattoo was like a jail sentence almost. It was just like you have a tattoo, you off, you know, like you look, you know, kind of almost.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. He did like some like I know paint his fence or did something, you know, dig the hole for him or something like that. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He just did some like little reparation job or whatever. But like yeah, he just met him and he showed him he had like a house, and next to the house had like another small building was tattoo shop. There was just actually off the highway between Karlskrona, there's a little city, the town in South Sweden, and Malmö. It's like a bit bigger city. So it's like you have a fine tattoo, and you just stay there. It's like a little village houses, like few houses, and one of them is Im's tattoo shop. Yeah.
Amazing. But, so tell us about when you went there, what happened?
So yeah, I was like I want to see what it is, and I will maybe get some gear. I didn't know actually how is it done or anything.
Yeah.
So I went. I met the guy and because he knew that I'm sort of into art and stuff, and then so he showed me how it's done. He set up machine. He did some little thing on himself, some sort of touch up, just to show me how it's run. It wasn't at that stage. It wasn't the thing like, oh, tattoo me, because I had no idea like what's the funny thing was we couldn't speak English, both of us. Yeah. And my brother on the side as a translator, and Im's wife, they could speak English.
Amazing.
So yeah, that was
yeah,
and then
crazy.
You know, and no, I think we set it up earlier. He was like, if I wanted tattoo equipment, we can do a deal, because he knew that I'm doing like a copies of like a artwork from like 17th century, like pretty like decent quality and stuff. Yeah, that's how I was earning money before I started art school. He was like, bring me some of them. I have another business with my dad. We have an art gallery, commercial art gallery, selling like no different artworks. We can make a deal. And I gave him all these paintings that I had. Yeah. And he gave like I think 2 tattoo machines, like some tubes, needles, some inks, and then that was it. I packed the stuff, went home, called my mate. I was like, I got it. Come now.
Amazing.
I started poking our feet, you know, blood is everywhere. There's no ink staying in. But yeah, that was beginning.
Amazing. What were some of the first tattoos you did? Were you just like doing your own artwork, or what, people from the tattoo magazine?
I think we had like some this magazine and just like whatever. We're showing people. No one wanted to get it actually. Yep. And my mates, we start with him, Sławek. He's tattooing as well still. He's still in Poland. He's doing it. So we just like, he finds some like, couple guys from his suburb area, and they agreed to get some like.
Yep. Well, we're going to be back. Come on, internet. Don't do it to us. If you can hear me, Norbert, make sure your phone's plugged in, or you got a charger in it. I think obviously tonight, Friday night, is going to be high traffic area. Everyone's gaming and wanking and whatever else people do on the internet these days. So I'm sure we're going to have him. Oh, we've lost him. All right. I'm going to send him another invite and get him back in the room. And we will, here we go. Bear with us, people. All right, here we go. No, he's coming back, Albie. Don't worry. Yeah, you're back in the room.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, mate. It's probably just because it's Friday night. Like everyone's probably using their internet at the moment as well. So, you know, so go back to that. You were just trying to give tattoos away, doing the small ones. And was that in like, because you've always been like involved in the music scene. Did it start to get people from that scene or from university?
Not necessarily. I said that at this stage was still like people had the tattoo. They actually didn't even know what you're talking about. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, they had no idea that such a thing, like really, you can get something. Also, I mean, it's like, it's 30 years ago. I don't remember exactly how we were getting these people, but it was very little seldom. And then there was still during this holiday, and then like a few weeks later, I had to go pack my stuff because it was at my parents' house. Went to art school, dragged my mate with me. He was actually staying with me, and we did like first tattoos on each other.
Amazing. So tell us about, because you pretty much opened up one of the, if not the first, one of the first tattoo shops in Poland. This is a pretty interesting story. So tell us about how that all came about and about, you know, your business partner.
Yeah, there were like few guys that in parallel were trying to achieve what I was trying, or me and my mate. But this before internet and anything like that. So like we had no idea, you know, that someone trying to do this. So like you always thought like I'm the first one because I never heard it before. So we thought, but later ended up there were like probably like at least 3 or 4 of us in different cities. Sort of starting around the same time. So,
amazing.
So yeah, actually the story was that like we were trying and no one wanted. We were like, okay, we need to open tattoo shop. Maybe we get some people. Started looking at the real estate, and like of course like they had no idea. It was like tattoos? No, tattoos are for criminals. Like forget about it. So I gave up. I gave this equipment that I had to my mate. He went to another town, and he opened probably the first shop. One of the first. And I was like, maybe I stick to art and see how it goes. Kind of like I was also really busy with art school at this stage, first 2 years, and he kind of started, and it's already like 1 year after communism fell down, so people start moving a little bit, getting some information. So I think the vibe is going. It went very quick. Within like 3 years, like everyone was like, "Wow, tattoos!" Everyone's into it. You know, it took very quick. So probably like a year later, I gave this equipment, and probably like a few months later, like some girl that she studied at art school with me, she was like, I heard you doing tattoos. I was like, yeah, sort of. It's like, yeah, my mate has some money and thinking to start some business, but he's looking for someone who can do it. I was like, yeah, we can do it. And so we met. He was nicely dressed, very neat, suit, whatever, proper business guy. Sweet. We opened open tattoo shop, and like later on ended up he was like fully involved in like a mafia scene. Russian mafia started taking over the Polish guys, and it was like, and I ended up sometimes tattooing for hours and hours, like some big Russian mafia bosses. In the end, they would just say like, "Thanks, Norbert, awesome job," and just walk away.
What are you gonna say?
Couldn't do anything, you know. Have like a 3 big guys like that, and
So you've done quite a few of the tattoos out of that Russian prison book.
Yeah, kind of. But this book wasn't published then. But
You did the real stuff. So crazy. So apart from like say the mafia clientele, what other clientele were you getting? Like younger people? Were tourists coming through Poland at that time as well?
Say again, please.
Were tourists coming through as well?
Started probably slowly, but it started. I had like a few people. Some people from Amsterdam came once. I did like 5 guys in a row, you know, from Amsterdam.
Cool.
So but then like a music scene. So like, and slowly, some of my mates, like some people started like skating, and because it also like wasn't a thing much before. So like all these people slowly, like all this sort of subculture kind of crowd started sort of like coming in. Yeah,
cool. Were you still at art school then as well?
Yeah, I was still at art school. So that happened like I think 93 we opened that shop.
Yeah.
This guy 92, 93, and then I finished officially in 95 my art school, but like I for another 3 years I was sort of like still finishing my summer works, because I started quite intense like art career, as doing like art performance and like all different. So I was like traveling a lot stuff. So like school wasn't on my art school wasn't on my mind, but but I was working at the shop all the time, and then it ended up kind of like in the end I sort of bought all the stuff from these guys, but a week later or something, the owner came and said of the property, said like the lease is supposed to be like over like in a month or something. Pack my stuff, put in some storage, look for new location, and then I opened my own shop. I opened in 99.
Yeah, cool. What was the name of the first shop, and then the second one?
The first one was called Fishbone, but in Polish, which is funny. And mine was called Perun, which is like a Slavic old god of thunder.
Okay, cool.
Like a thunder kind of figure, like a tribally kind of looking thing.
Yeah, nice. And then was that still in the same town area or somewhere else?
Pretty close. Yeah. It was like in town kind of. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And like you've always been involved in music. Were you playing in bands at that stage or creating stuff solo?
At that stage, we were mostly, there was a lot of like jamming and stuff, because I kind of got more into like electronic stuff and so a lot of sort of like improvisation involved and all this kind of stuff. Because I grew up, my brother's a musician. I grew up sort of playing first like more like a punk rock and roll metal. Then we went to playing like some fusion jazz because my brother put me into it.
Yeah.
And then that was pretty much end with the bands, and I only started playing like a proper bands again when I moved to Berlin after later on.
Yeah, cool. So before you moved to Berlin, had you, apart from say your friend in another town, had you come in contact with other tattoo artists or anything like that, or had you gone out of Poland again?
The driving force actually of sort of like all Polish tattoo community and movement was like the mate that we started together, who moved to another town and opened it, and he organized the very first tattoo convention in Poland, in Warsaw, in this huge palace of culture and science.
Wow.
Very like a noble sort of building. And there was like first one was like international. It was like really a lot of people came. I don't remember the names now from like from the names that you guys would know, but probably like Robert Hernandez. I don't know if anyone remembers Robert Hernandez.
Yeah, from Spain. He would have been
Yeah, it was like a bunch of people, and then so he was sort of driving force, and he was sort of linking all of us. And stuff. So
what about like your own personal tattoo collection at that stage? Had you started trying to get stuff from your friend or different people or anyone at that convention?
Not really. Like I was busy at the convention. It was like new thing, and I think the thing of like sort of sharing and collecting and stuff like that only sort of like started. I had this like the very first tattoo, and then pretty much for a long time I didn't have anything,
Yeah. You did some of your own tattoos, didn't you?
My shop, I work by myself. There was like maybe another tattoo shop like in other end of town, and sort of in the beginning was also a little bit like we sort of knew each other, we were friends, but it was still a kind of competition, because like you thought if you said two shops in one town, there's already one, kind of that thing,
Yeah, cool. What I know music was a big part. Like what took you to Berlin? Was it music or tattooing or a combination of the two of them? And what year was this?
There was year 2000, and there was mainly music.
Yep.
There was mainly music. I said I sort of started going more into like electronic and stuff, and that time like always like Berlin was like a mecca for that kind of stuff. Rap scene, and so I was like really drawn to it. I went to Berlin first for like a few weeks to visit my friends, and they showed me like all this scene, all these places.
Cool.
Stuff is happening. I was like, whoa, I'm wasting my time here. I need to go there,
Yep.
But so I just went there, and then I met the amazing guy, good friend of mine, Wally, the guy from LA. who came to Berlin to study art, and then wasn't that successful on art scene, and opened like a little. First, he started like a little what's called soap kitchen, like a little tiny bar. But it became like a very sort of like an underground place to hang out for a lot of like artists, musicians and stuff. Then he opened slightly bigger place. Yeah. And he was like, you're making tattoos, maybe we can do something together. First come and do like some interior for me, paint some stuff on the walls. And so I started hanging out with him, and he was like, you have to move to Berlin. Yeah. So like, yeah, and he pretty much
no choice.
And he helped me, he organized like a place for me to like I could live, like, you know, everything. So pretty much it was like my older brother, you know, just like
amazing.
Providing everything for me. And so, yeah, I was like, and that's we started. And in the beginning in Berlin, I was just like,
come on, internet. I think the internet, oh, you're back. Yeah, hey. Good. Sorry, mate, we lost you for a minute.
Yeah, cool.
So just quickly, Norbert, before we go deep, no, you're right. Before we go deep into Berlin, Sophia's just asked, has Norbert ever been to Unsound Festival in Poland?
Unsound? No.
Yeah. Oh, that answers that one.
That happened when I already left Poland. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, just tilt the camera down because you'll cut your head off at the moment.
Yeah.
That's better. Yeah. So with yeah, perfect. So talk us through that, because how long were you in Berlin for altogether?
Altogether 8 years.
So it's a long time, and that's when your studio was called No Pain, No Brain.
Yeah. I mean, it was sort of like we opened that studio together with that mate Wally that I mentioned before.
Yep.
Because the first that was more sort of like underground thing. I would tattoo like in a sort of back office. I had like a little room set up because that place started sort of attracting a lot of like musos and the bands that were like touring and stuff. They would always end up in this place. So it was like the place to go. So like, if you're in Berlin from like States or whatever, like, well, we're gonna hang out in some like a chill, very underground sort of bar. Where should we go? White Trash, and everyone ended up at White Trash.
Yep. Right.
And I was always there, so like pretty much my tattooing hours would start like around midnight, and I would stay there till like 5 in the morning or something. But it wasn't like a tattoo shop. I would just hang out with people. I don't know, like I don't want to throw names, but like for example, like Slash or something like that.
Yeah, totally.
Doing some shots, and they were like, "Oh, maybe I get some tattoo from you, mate. Can you set up some machines?" I would, okay, give me 5, you know. I would go set up machines. Ended up we get way too drunk, so I never tattooed Slash, but whatever, you know. But that was this kind of, that's how I sort of operate that the time.
Yeah, amazing. But you were obviously deeply connected in the musical scene yourself. Like your band was quite successful.
So I mean, locally in Berlin, we were pretty quite a follow, and we were lucky to open for like big bands and stuff like that. But like,
come on, mate, don't be shy, mate. Drop some names. What were some of the bands you opened for?
Stooges, the last tour of Stooges before one of the Ashton brothers died.
Yeah, amazing.
Stuff like that.
Cool. Hey, I'm going to be really cheeky right now. Did you ever open for Scorpion?
No.
All right. So with all of that, it was like when we were talking before, like, were you, you know, because Berlin, like I went to the tattoo convention in Berlin in 2000, right? I was living in London at the time, and I went over to Frank.
That wasn't working. The same year.
Yeah, Frank Weber used to run it from B52. That was one of the big studios in Berlin. You know, and you know, it was mate, it was fucking wild. Like there was, you know, Hell's Angels everywhere. Like, you know, crazy punk people. There was, I think it was the first time I saw like a transgender person, like a 6'5" trans from New York with like a black mohawk and like a full leather outfit. It was just like mind blowing. And I was like a 23, 24-year-old little Aussie dude, man. It was like amazing.
It was like I freshly moved to, that was even like first time I went to 2000. It was just, I think it was a few months before I moved to Berlin. So for me, it was also like such an eye opener and such a like, wow, what's going on here?
It was phenomenal. But you ended up working at the Berlin convention quite a few times, didn't you?
Yeah, later on when we opened the shop and stuff, yeah. So yeah, we did like a couple conventions as a
And
shop there.
I know you're incredibly humble, but I know you won quite a few awards at the Berlin convention back then, and mate, it must have been like super proud for you and you know, and for Poland as well. Like I think you took out best traditional and something in a realism category.
Yeah, there were like few, yeah, but then like definitely was traditional, which was kind of interesting. And then some other ones. I don't remember which exactly category. It was like some. No, I think I got one for like a large male or something. I did like a huge, like a Muka, sort of like a copy on like all the side, like ribs going all the way to the thigh and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
cool. Yeah, cool.
There was like so I'm just mentioning there was like I was doing that Muha kind of stuff. There was like before people were using like new traditional and all this stuff, you know, because there wasn't such a thing then, you know, but
totally. It was, you know, there was that crazy guy from I think from Vienna, Schockenwalde, doing like crazy faces and chrome stuff. Like that Berlin convention, I saw Klaus Furman, and he was one of the first guys I ever saw like outlining, shading, finish an area, then outline and shade. I'm just like, wow, you can break these rules. So when you were in Berlin, were you connecting with a lot of the other studios or other artists?
Yeah, like but there's more sort of like through the music scene and through the thing is like at White Trash at No Pain No Brain, there was the shop with the gallery and at the basement we had a rehearsal room. Right. Where everyone who was involved in the tattoo shop or in the restaurant and the club, White Trash, would pretty much everyone was like a musician or some sort of artist. So there was a lot of bands practicing down there, and there were a lot of tattoo artists that also played the bands. So they would come to the place to rehearse.
Yeah.
And so that's why we were like kind of always hanging out together. But it was
Yeah, amazing. So with that, like you were there and. Because I know you worked with Henning over at Royal Tattoo in Denmark. How did that sort of happen?
There was amazing experience, and like I'm forever grateful to Henning and to Cosmos for that happen. There was a thing that I was in Berlin, sort of, and everything was rolling, but I was sort of wanted to expand to more guest spots and just like sort of see more of it.
Yeah.
And I went to London Convention in 2007, I think it was. Dragged my portfolio with me. I was walking around and then I saw the Royal Tattoo stand, and there was a little sign, "We're looking for guest artists." And I was like, "Hold on, that's something, you know."
Yeah.
But I honestly I doubted. I didn't believe. I was like, "There's no way," you know. But like, I will give it a go. Nothing to lose. And yeah, Henning was busy at the time when I went there. But like a couple hours later, he finished tattooing, looked through my stuff, and pretty much he was flipping the pages, not saying anything. And I was just like, my legs were like shaking. I was like, "Oh, he probably thinks it's the worst shit."
Yeah.
And he was like, "So when are you coming?"
Wow.
When I come in January? I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, amazing.
And then because like, you know, in Europe everything is very close, so that was very easy from Berlin to go to Denmark. So I was going there quite regularly before I moved to Australia.
Yeah,
and
cool.
Yeah, there was always amazing experience. Like, yeah.
Who were some of the artists was Theo working there when you were guesting, or who? Because Henning's always had an amazing roster of guest artists.
Yeah, Theo was there. Ron Cooper was there.
Yeah.
From the guest artists at that time, there will be like Valerie, Vargas, Spad. There was Spad from UK as well. I'm very bad with names. Names. Another thing was like I had a chance. There was like a 30th anniversary or 25th anniversary of Royal Tattoo. Henning put on like a massive party with like a rock band and just like a proper big event, almost like a festival.
Wow. And he did a book as well, didn't he?
And second, please.
And he did a book as well.
He did the book. The book was for the 30th anniversary. I think that was probably the party for the 30th, but I was already in Australia. I think I didn't join. But that one on the 25th, there was like amazing party, and pretty much all the creme de la creme of tattooers from all over the world came to that party. And I was just like introduced like within like a week or few days, I was just like everyone that I admired for like years and years.
Amazing.
So that was amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah. And I believe like with all the guest stars, it was like a real tight knit community. You all used to live together and work together, and like a real close sort of dynamic between the shop.
You mean at Royal?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. At that time, like I don't know how it works now, but at that time, Henning would have like a guest house for the guest artists.
Yeah.
And so everyone would pretty much stay there, and we would just like draw in the evening together, paint.
Yeah, like a real creative environment.
Yeah, and then just like 5 minutes walk to the shop, and after shop having dinners together every time, and just it was amazing. It was amazing. Like really being on like a tattoo camp for like weeks, you know.
Yeah, and like must have been such an amazing like learning experience as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like from then, like really kind of for the first time, I considered that I sort of like met my master and someone that I owe like really, you know, like. You know, someone who finally like is like showing me how it's done properly after all these years that I was, because I don't know if I mentioned like obviously from the story there's a clue that I never did any apprenticeship. I learned everything myself, and then
it must just be like just an amazing time and reaffirmation. You're on the you're killing it, and obviously machine information, needles, color, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So cool.
No,
all right. So then. You're going between Henning and Berlin, and then all up you're in Berlin for 8 years. You're at a point, and then what brought you to Australia?
Australia, that's my wife. My wife is Aussie, so she had trouble to extend her visa or something. She was there for quite a time already. She was like in arts and writing and stuff like that. So they kind of like were like, what are they actually doing here? And so we were like, going through all the paperwork and trying to stay here. Maybe it's time to move on. And also like living in Berlin. I mean, it's like it's great place, amazing place. But like living there for so many years, you party every night pretty much. There's like non-stop, and like your biological clock is completely upside down. You're waking up 2 p.m., going to bed 7
on fast forward,
and pretty much every single day, every single night, the same. And then you just like. I was 38 when I moved from Berlin. I was like, I thought that's something maybe enough,
Yeah.
And then Sydney, I came first to visit Sydney for like a few weeks, and I was like, that's really nice, I always wanted to live in a warm country, So it was like
cool.
Perfect,
When you came on that first time, did you do a guest spot anywhere or visit any tattoo studios?
I think on the first few weeks, I think I came to see Inner Vision.
Yeah.
And I think I met you for the first time.
Yeah.
There, and I think maybe I went to Kaleidoscope as well.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. That was just like I think it was like 3 weeks, but it was quite intense. Like first time in here in Australia, and like looking around, going to Melbourne, this and that. So yeah.
Cool. And then, when you came back, I believe you worked at Kaleidoscope. The first time was the first studio you worked in.
Yeah, first couple months or 3 months I was there. Yeah, and then I moved to Inner Vision.
Yeah, cool. Who was at Kaleidoscope at that stage? Was Stevie Edge there then?
Stevie was there. Yeah, Stevie was there. I got tattooed by Stevie then, and Luciano, Fabio, the brothers that run it, and a few other guys. Ivana was there. Then I don't know. There's the Czech girl. She's in the States now. Ivana. She does like sort of colorful watercoloring and stuff. I think she's quite sort of renowned now. Yeah.
Ivana.
In America.
Yeah. Amazing. Cool. And then after that, I know this part of the story because then we worked together at Inner Vision for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Which was a great time. I think it was me, you, Kian. Megan, maybe Seth was there at some point.
Seth was there. Yeah, Seth was definitely there.
Yeah, because we used to have like a solid winter crew, like an all year round crew, and then we'd always get a lot of guest artists coming through. So, and the style of tattooing you were doing then is quite different to what you're doing now.
It was quite different. It's sort of like still like fairly influenced by my art education. So a lot of like details, sort of semi-realistic, but also working at Innovision. Innovision was sort of like a, in a way, street shop. I know you guys were pushing like Japanese and stuff, but still like whatever came through the door, you had to do it
Totally.
or you wanted to do it, you know, you don't want to send people away. So I end up doing everything. I even end up doing like some Japanese stuff, which I actually have no idea how to do it, but I was looking at you guys and like trying something, you know?
Yeah, mate, I remember like, you know, I think it was only when I went to Tattoo Dharma that I was able to completely sort of go towards full-time Japanese. But, you know, at that point, like I remember you were doing amazing portraits, like, you know, color realism. Like I remember you did a sort of like a Boris Dragon style back piece, like another big amazing wave back piece with the palm tree on a surfer, dude. Just so versatile. Yeah, like so versatile, which, you know, came from, you know, your background.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, but definitely at that time, sort of, I was always drawn to like sort of Art Nouveau-ish, this kind of like look that that has like a nice line and nice proportions and some sort of beauty in it. But I was looking for the clue how to make it look as like a tattoo, and sort of like Art Nouveau and Art Deco was like the closest. If you don't want to go Japanese way to Japanese tattoo, that's the closest sort of Western representation of how tattoo could look, like bold and solid, but still be like very sort of like developed and elaborated is the word, something like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that, so I was sort of drawn to that way, but like just because of doing sort of realism and stuff, I never kind of knew how to do like a proper, like a solid bold lining and stuff. So I was afraid of if it's like too much black or the lines are too bold. So I was sort of struggling. So I would say at the time I was trying to sort of do what I'm doing now, do new traditional, but like I didn't know the tools, like not the tools in sense of tattoo machine, but the sort of like tricks. I didn't know how to approach it.
Yeah. So Jack Smith just asked, when did the shoes start? Because you've done quite a lot of series of tattoos with shoes and high heels mainly.
That actually started in Berlin when I got the high heel tattoo on my neck by Sunny Buick. She's in
Paris.
She's in Paris, but she did a guest spot and No Pain No Brain. We became friends.
Wow, okay.
And she was doing a lot of her sort of like, she has very distinct her own style, sort of illustrative, sort of fairy tale illustrative / comic-y lowbrow kind of stuff. But somehow, I don't know, I was like, I just wanted that high heel, and she was like, yeah, sweet, you know, and she did it, and so I got it, and sort of like became like sort of like my sort of like a signature kind of thing. Because also there was the thing like the guy with the high heel on his neck. It was a kind of very
yeah, totally,
and easy to remember. Yeah. Funny thing is, I remember when I first came to Australia, I went to visit. Henning told me like, if you're in Australia, please go and say hi to Trevor McStay in Melbourne. I was like, I will. And I went, and actually that was on my very first visit before I even moved here. I think when I came for the first few weeks, and I went there, introduced myself, and I was like, hey, I'm Norbert, blah blah blah. I live in Berlin, but I work with Henning as a guest artist and stuff, and he's sending like greetings and stuff like that. It's all cool, and he's like, hold on, what do you got on your neck? What the fuck? Why would you get a shoe on your neck, mate? What's wrong? And I was like, okay, welcome to Australia.
Yeah. Trev is direct. Amazing, mate. Amazing. So,
but it was more like in a joke way. I'm not. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. No, totally. I've been fortunate enough. I've been fortunate to know Trevor since I was like 21, and man, I'm about to turn 48, and he's got an amazing sense of humor. Like a lot of people think he's very harsh, but he's got such a dry sense of humor that once you're in tune with it, man, he's a funny fucker.
Yeah.
So after Innovision, like I can't even remember. Like, did you go to Europe or I moved on to Tattoo Dharma? Like, where was your move after Innovision?
After Innovision, I moved to Hunter and Fox.
Yep. But did you get tattooed by Chad when you were at Innovision?
Yeah. So as I said before, like sort of I wanted to go more sort of into the way to make tattoos that look like tattoos, you know, and like, yeah, old saying, you know. And then so I was like, yeah, the way is to go more into sort of traditional way, to learn how to really go bold and don't be afraid, and just like, you know, and maybe from there jump and mix it or whatever. And I was like, yeah, how I mean, I got already like a bunch of tattoos, mostly like in the traditional way done, but I was like, at that moment, Chad was kind of like a big name. I mean, he's always big name, but like maybe because he was coming quite frequently to Sydney, and I heard that he's coming, and I was like, damn, I need to get tattooed by this guy, you know. So I was in a vision, and we set up like a couple of sessions at Hunter and Fox, but there was like after hours, the shop was closed, so it was just him and me. So I was like, yeah, try to like ask him as many questions as I could when he was tattooing me or whatever, have a chat, watching what he does. And then so there was like, and I was like, and I would look at the Hunter and Fox, then I was like, that's I want to be in this place, you know. That's a place.
That was like at that time, Hunter and Fox was on fire. Yeah.
And then I looked what he was doing, and I was like, so that the Great Christian was coming, all the other guys, and I was like, yeah, that's the place to be for me now at this point of my sort of career, you know. And so contacted Heath, and he was like, yeah, come on board, you know, and
nice.
And then soon after,
tell the story about how, you know, Chad and Greg would watch you work, and then like, you know, give you some advice or say, what the fuck are you doing? Or, you know, do this, try this.
Yeah. So like, started working there, and then probably like a few weeks later, the Chad and Greg Christian came to the guest spot. And so obviously I was like looking over their shoulder, like what they're doing, and asking sort of questions, checking out what needle you're using. Oh, you open your needle. Wow. Oh, how you do that? You know, kind of things. And then they did, and then so I was sort of like watching them, like, oh, maybe I try similar things. So I was trying to do stuff, and they were just like watching me, and then like it was like, mate, this machine doesn't. You can't do lines like if you run your machine like this. Pump it up, mate. It's like boom, you know, from like 7 volts to like 12. I was like, now you're doing the line, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Power.
But you know, the lines were like, you know, 12. I mean, 11, 14 open, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
You need the power to push it.
Well, totally, and I think as well that sort of would speed you up as a tattoo artist as well.
Yeah. Because also like I was attracted to the thing of traditional tattooing and doing like a large scale traditional, what they were doing, like how fast you can achieve something, and just because of boldness of the contrast and limited palette, it looks good and solid, but doesn't involve like digging into million of details that anyway later on they're gonna wash off, a lot of them. So totally. That's the way.
Yeah, cool, mate. Cool. So we've probably got about 15 minutes left, so we're just gonna sort of power this one home. So you're at Hunter and Fox for quite a few years, and then you went back and did a tour of Europe and went home and saw the family. Is that correct?
Yeah, sort of like that was like before my boy was about to go to school, and we were thinking like maybe we could go to Europe and live in Europe. Maybe he can go to school like in England, in London or something. But anyway, we were like, I was sort of longing a bit for like living in Europe, not necessarily Poland, but just sort of in Europe, and the easiness of it is like how you can travel and do guest spots from one country to another and stuff. I thought like Australia is cool, but it's like wherever you go, you still like it's sort of the same thing. And so I was like, totally. There's the last chance before he goes to school, last chance to just go for like, you know, half a year or maybe a year and see how things roll there. And maybe if we like it there, maybe we stay there, or if not, we come back. So we went there for like 7 months, and that was really good. I was sort of based in Poland, working in like a little shop there, but doing quite regular guest spots, like pretty much every month, going like, all over the place, you know. So
amazing.
That was really cool, you know. And then I did like for the first time I did a London convention as well. Which was amazing.
Yeah, cool. And then as fate would have it, we ended up working together again at Little Tokyo in Bondi Junction.
Yeah, yeah, and then yeah,
when
then
you came back.
yeah, and then sort of like I was coming back, and I was like, I don't know where I'm gonna like.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like when I sort of close chapter. I always like to move forward, kind of.
Yeah.
So I was like, now it's time for I don't know what, and also like we were like, me and my wife were like, if you're coming back to Sydney, it's never gonna be Berlin, it's never gonna be London. Sydney has beaches and amazing nature, so let's just live closer to the nature. We used to live in Newtown, so we just moved to like close to like Bondi, to the beaches and stuff. And it was like this, and then we were always mates and stuff. And I was like, you work there and stuff. And like I think even when I was in Europe, we were sort of time to time we were in some sort of chats like how you going, this and that. And then we were sort of talking. Or maybe when I come back, I can join you. And that's what happened. Yeah.
It was good. And then we were together. I think it was me, you, Jimmy, Joel, Maya, and then we moved to the city where we are now. And then after that, you moved on to the powerhouse that is Tattoo Rosies with all the young gang. And you're the old guy keeping an eye on them and keeping them on their toes.
Yeah, there was also that kind of thing that I when I went, I kind of, I think like Little Tokyo is an amazing shop, but I thought like I was lacking a little bit at that stage, maybe as well, so like a just working more like a traditional way and just like being more, I don't know how to say, more just independent, you know, like like sort of smaller shop suits me better. And they kind of worked perfectly. I went there and like I felt like home like pretty quick. Within the weeks I was like, that's amazing, and I still feel like that, you know. It's like the crew is amazing, there's a bunch of legends, and just
And as maybe history repeats again, like back in Berlin, are you playing in a band with a lot of a few of the tattooers at Tattoo Rosies?
Yeah, another amazing thing, like ended up that everyone plays some instrument and everyone's a sort of history of playing some bands and stuff. And we were talking for months and months. That would be cool. And finally we just like, let's just rent the rehearsal room and see what happens. So we went there, started playing some Ramones covers and stuff like that. Should we do it next week? Yeah, let's do it next week. Let's book the room. And then from there, started doing our own songs. And like, now it's been going for like a bit. Now we have a break, obviously. But it's going pretty well. Yeah,
what's the name of the band?
Date Night. Remember the name?
Date Night. Nice. Very romantic. Yeah, cool. All right, so talk to us about your painting, because you've got like a beautiful painting style. Obviously, a lot of shoes, a lot of women's faces, that sort of thing. Like, have you been doing much painting during this lockdown period?
I'm sort of trying to finish some stuff that I started, because like when I work regularly, I work like long days. I work like sometimes 12 hours, you know. I'll be in the shop always the last one. I will work till like midnight and stuff like that many times. So like when I come home, I don't really have much time. And then plus having a kid as well. So like on my time off, I spent with him as well. So I'm struggling to find the time to paint really. So now it's good time. So like I'm back to it again. So yeah,
nice. Hey, when we were talking on the phone, do you want to show us Max's first ever flash sheet?
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool thing. He just like he just started doing his own thing. I just
nice.
I don't know how I can flip the camera. I just do like this. He just finished his first page. Can you guys see it?
Whoa! Wow. Yeah, fuck yeah.
He's 9 years old.
Mate, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. How old is Max now?
9. He's 9 now. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's his first page. Now he's starting he's starting this one. Just outlined the Black Panther, and we're gonna check something in the middle. So yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm trying to make it a little bit. I know it's not supposed to be easy, but I'm trying to give him a little bit of shortcuts. So I'm showing him like how to paint, like, you know, sort of speed paint with 2 brushes, this and that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about like, you know, cheating. You're just, you know, corner cutting. You're just letting him avoid making the mistakes and showing him the fast track. So yeah, so how would you like, what are most of the projects that you're doing now? Because you did an ebook for Tattoo Life, like one of your sketchbooks, because everything you do is obviously custom, drawn from scratch. Like, what at the moment are some of the most popular like motifs that people are asking you for, or that you want to do?
Still, I've been doing it for a long time, like a lot of big cats, you know,
Yeah.
wild animals generally, a lot.
Yeah.
So you would have like tigers, panthers, wolves, bears, snakes. Then you add on top of it a bit of skulls and like a little bit of like beautiful females, girls, you know, either interfering with animals or being dressed in like some animal dress heads and stuff like that, warrior girls.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all fun stuff to do, you know.
Yeah,
and then
cool,
pretty much,
cool.
Yeah.
What are like? Are you using coils these days, or have you gone to rotaries? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, pretty much. I always use coils. I had a few goes. I remember when I started in Aviation, I was introduced by you and Kian to like to Swash Drive, and I was doing it for a bit of time, but kind of like gave up on it. And then especially when I moved to Hunter and Fox, everyone was just like buzzing. So like coils, and then I've been doing this for that long, and a few times, like when I was at Little Tokyo, there were like a lot of artists using like a pen and stuff. A few times I asked them to have it a go, but like I would last like 15 minutes on it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's just like, you know, it for me like learning new thing, and I think it just takes too long.
And mate, there's really no need to change sometimes. So we've just had a serious question come through from Sanchez. He's asked this twice. But who would win a fight between a bear and a tiger?
Tiger.
Yeah, well, yeah. Fair. How come?
But I mean, I would be I'll be for tiger, you know. But I don't know if you win. You know, how would I know? Yeah.
True. It depends on the day. Like, definitely a tiger's more agile, but a bear's like, you know, big and bulky, and you know. Mm-hmm. So then, Joshua McKay just asked, "Who's your favorite punk band, Norbert?"
Oh, Ramones, definitely. You know, I mean, I know they're quite commercial, sort of, and you can see like everyone wearing Ramones logos, and people they don't even know what Ramones is, but it's still sort of like that compact version of like fast and good, you know.
Yeah. So Benno from Seven Seas, he said he vaguely remembers you telling him a story one time about Lemmy. Do you have a Lemmy story?
Yeah, a few Lemmy stories. I mean, Lemmy story was one of the Lemmy stories. It's like me and Wally, we opened like, because Lemmy was a huge fan of the pinball machines.
Yeah.
And he would hang out at White Trash, and the boys, other guys like Phil from Motorhead, which I had the chance to tattoo as well, would hang out in my tattoo shop and rehearsal room and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was always like, I think we just realized it would be cool if we have some pinballs for Lemmy here. So Wally organized some pinballs, and we're like, we're gonna make like a Mr. Kill Mr. Lunch, just a special dedicated corner in White Trash just for Lemmy.
Yeah.
I paint like a nice, like a wooden sign saying like Mr. Kill Mr. Lunch. Lemmy came, we had like a ribbon. Lemmy came, cut the ribbon with the scissors. All the fans made a bunch of photos with him. He played like few rounds on the pinball machines. It was like a lunch party for Mr. Kill Mr. Pinball lunch, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Hey, did you ever do speed with him?
No. No.
So with all of that stuff as well, like, you know, like talk to us about Tony Clash. Like, what's the story? Tony Clash is like an electro god.
Yeah, he's like he comes and goes, you know. He's sort of like
he's an enigma. Like, I know. Are we gonna be lucky to see a live set on Norbert's Instagram Live one of these weekends coming of a Tony Clash set?
I would keep it still like next year when I'm gonna like release maybe some stuff, and then maybe you can see me in a proper location. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we'll see, but
yeah, awesome. All right, so we're sort of coming to the end. So, what's your favorite band of the moment? Like a new band, not one of the old classics.
Definitely Amel and the Sniffers.
Yep.
Aussie punk band, with Amy on vocals, like amazing.
Yeah.
The Idols, if we're talking like rock and roll kind of thing, you know. because I also listen to a bunch of electronic stuff, but this stuff is just like endless. It's just like projects, DJs, this and that. So it's not necessarily big names, but like, but definitely like if I go to the show, I prefer to go to like a proper like a punk show or rock and roll show, you know?
Yeah, cool. What's your favorite drink?
Generally, he keeps normal, but because of lockdown, I have only access at Coles to Carton Zero.
Okay. Yep.
So that's my drink.
Yeah. Nice. All right. What's your favorite takeaway meal?
Probably I really like North Indian from Oxford Street.
Yeah. Nice.
Always good.
Near Gummy Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we've eaten. I think everyone around that area has eaten there a lot over the years. What's your coffee of choice?
My coffee of choice, oat latte.
Old latte, nice. Okay,
no
that's
sugar.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it has to be large. It has to be large always.
All right. What's one of the favorite conventions you've been to?
London, definitely London.
Yeah. Amazing.
After London, probably New Plymouth.
Yeah, cool.
Which I've been twice only, but yeah, it was an amazing experience as well. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. All right. What's one of your favorite tattoo artists?
Oh, too many.
Yeah.
Too many.
Yeah. So is your favorite coffee shop the one on Oxford Street, Swiss Bakers?
I go there sometimes for sandwiches mostly because I think they do like a proper European style sandwiches.
True. Yep.
But for coffee, is our local also like close to the Rosies is called Pieno. It's the Italian one. Yeah. Really good coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. All right. So what's your favorite shoe?
This one.
All right. Demi's asked, who's your favorite tattoo artist at Tattoo Rosies?
Oh, she's trying to put me in trouble or what?
There can be only one.
There can be only one? No,
well,
it's not such
really.
a thing.
Yeah.
Not such a thing. No.
Yeah.
I can't. Everyone is my
True.
favorite.
All
Everyone
right.
is favorite. Everyone is a legend there.
Yeah. What's your I don't know. What do you want to finish up with? Do you want to say stuff to anyone? Like, do you want to give some shout outs or give us a walk through the amazing...
I saw before in the comments some bunch of mates from Poland, probably like my friends. They all have like Instagram names. Some of them I'm not even sure who they are.
Yeah.
I saw even some members, some like my cousins and stuff like that. So hi to all the Polish people. Cześć, pozdrawiam.
Nice.
And then just shout to everyone.
Awesome. What have you got planned once you get out of lockdown, other than just catching up on the big backlog of work that you've got?
Yeah, keep going with the band. We're gonna record something with the band. I probably would like to start on working on the new sketchbook as well.
Yep. Hey, how about you have a quiet word to the owners of Tattoo Rosies, because part of the deal is they're supposed to have like a big opening party, which hasn't happened for quite some time, and you guys have expanded into the shop next door. So I think it would be really cool for the tattoo community and your clients that you guys debut your band in the courtyard out the back one Sunday, and you have an open house at Tattoo Rosies, showcase the shop and all the artists there, because it's so beautiful, and and just share the love. Make it date night.
That's brilliant.
Every Sunday night's date night.
I'll be up for that for sure, 100%. Yeah. Awesome.
Nice, mate. It's been amazing, Norbert. Thank you so much. Can you like take us out with something from Tony Clash, the way you brought us in?
Yeah.
And while you're setting that up, what's the best way for people to contact you? Is it through your Instagram?
Yeah, just definitely Instagram, WT Norbert.
Yeah,
and that's it. I do all my booking myself, so like I still got a lot of emails go through the shop, but they got forwarded to me anyway. So like the best way is just contact me directly.
Yep, amazing.
And that will be it.
Yeah, awesome. So also, whoever's watching, I'm going to share this later. If you can share this on to anyone that you think will enjoy it. And also, Norbert, it goes onto the Little Tokyo IGTV, so it's there for good. But by next week, I'm going to have it moved over onto another platform and YouTube and that sort of thing. So, yeah, thanks for everyone that supported it and continuing to watch. Oh, Norbert, have you got any prints or any merch for sale at the moment?
Yeah, I do. I still have some leftovers. So yeah, like if maybe I will post something. I'm just working on some stuff that is like, yeah, some stuff is finished, some stuff is not finished. So that, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So, all right,
yeah.
Take us out with a tune. We'll give everyone, give everyone a minute of this music.
There's the old Tony Clash from Berlin, 2005.
Bring it.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.